This is my WWE Money in the Bank 2011 pay-per-view review. The pay-per-view just went off there a little while ago, and I actually got to say this was a very enjoyable show from WWE. I think WWE lived up to the hype going into this show. Now, would I put this in the category of, one of WWE's classic pay-per-views, like one of the best ever? No, I wouldn't do that. I would say it was a good show. It wasn't a great show because you did have a few things that could have been a little better. The Smackdown Money in the Bank, I thought could have been a little better. The good thing about that was they started the show with that, and someone that no one thought was going to win. They went the unpredictable route there by having Bryan win that. Obviously, the women's match and Mark Henry's match with Big Show. Obviously, no one was looking forward to those matches. So I don't think people really even count those two matches on here, even though they did happen. Neither one of those matches anyone was looking forward to, and people knew they were going to be terrible. The Raw Money in the Bank was good, and the World Title match with Randy Orton and Christian is one of those rare instances where I can actually say that a title match ended in disqualification and actually added to the match and continue the further build up to Christian and Orton. We'll probably see another match with them two at SummerSlam. Then obviously the thing most people were looking forward to, and some people probably the only thing they were looking forward to, which was CM Punk versus John Cena for the WWE Championship. WWE did a great job with this match. The build-up leading into this was great. When CM Punk cut that, classic work shoot promo a couple weeks ago on Raw, that was great. And then the following week, I would say, with the Vince McMahon and Cena stuff was good. And then this past Monday Night Raw leading into this pay-per-view is probably one of the best go-home shows I've seen in a little while as far as building up to the pay-per-view. They really wanted you to see it real bad. The ending on Raw with CM Punk, the contract signing with Vince McMahon, Cena out there was just a classic moment. One of the very few times in recent memory I could actually say that you've seen a moment right there that people are going to remember for years to come, and you can put that in the category of some Attitude Era moments. That's how good it was. It's probably one of the best moments I've seen in a long, long time, especially leading into a pay-per-view. They did a great job there, and the match was good. They did a great job of teasing the fans. They did most people were worried, is this match going to end in a Montreal screw job? They teased the fans with that. They teased the fans of Alberto Del Rio cashing in the Money in the Bank after CM Punk won the title. And CM Punk actually won the title here, and can't wait to see where this is going to lead to tomorrow night on Monday Night Raw. Is CM Punk going to drop the title on Monday Night Raw, or is WWE going to kind of keep him around for another month or two, maybe have him lose it at SummerSlam, maybe another match with John Cena and CM Punk, which I wouldn't mind seeing because they did a good job in the main event, really entertaining match, and the crowd obviously helped it out a lot with that match. But it was a pretty good match as well, and WWE did a good job of teasing the fans that a lot of people were expecting were afraid that it was going to end a Montreal screw job, and it didn't. Thankfully, they didn't end it that way, and a lot of people obviously were speculating that whoever wins the Raw Money in the Bank was going to try to cash it in, and CM Punk stopped that from happening. He walked out as WWE Champion. So let me get into my review of Money in the Bank. The first matchup was the first Money in the Bank match. This is the Smackdown Money in the Bank. This had Cara, Wade Barrett, Justin Gabriel, Sheamus, Cody Rhodes, Daniel Bryan, Kane, and Heath Slater. Now, as far as this match, unlike the Raw one, didn't really have too many memorable spots in it. As far as the most insane spot near the thing people want to remember is Sheamus powerbombing Sin Cara through a ladder. That was probably the sickest spot in this match. Sin Cara, for a change, actually looked pretty good in this match. It was kind of his type of match, so you'd expect him to do good in here, but he tends to be pretty botchy in WWE. I guess he's still getting used to the WWE style, but he looked very good in this match. And a lot of people were expecting Sheamus to win this Money in the Bank, and they did a good job of teasing the fans with that, because he's pretty much at the end of the match. He was hitting his big boot, laying everyone out, looked like he was going to go up there. And then Daniel Bryan actually wins this Money in the Bank match, and really shocking moment right there. I don't think anyone expected him to win it, which is great to see. Hopefully they do a good job with Daniel Bryan when he cashes into the Money in the Bank. Hopefully he doesn't become a Jack Swagger type where it's basically going to ruin him when they cash in the Money in the Bank, and they're going to do a terrible job if he becomes World Heavyweight Champion. Hopefully they do a better job with Daniel Bryan, and I think WWE has a lot of invested interest in him, so I don't think we'll have to worry about WWE really screwing that up when they do it. And pretty entertaining match. Some good stuff in it, but obviously the weaker of the two Money in the Banks. And I was expecting a little more from it. You didn't really see too many high spots in the match, in a Money in the Bank match you would expect. But pretty good. And WWE went the unpredictable route with having Daniel Bryan win this. So I'll give it about 3 stars, maybe 3 1/4 stars. Pretty decent way to start the pay-per-view. And obviously I'm a huge Daniel Bryan fan, so I love seeing him win it. And didn't expect that to happen. Then the next matchup was the Divas title match. This was Brie Bella versus Kelly Kelly. Just your typical Divas match. Nothing much to talk about. Kelly Kelly wins the match. Just a very piss-poor Divas match. 1 star at best. Then the next matchup was Mark Henry versus The Big Show. Thankfully, it didn't get as much time as what I was expecting it to get. It didn't really drag on too much, but it wasn't a good match at all either. Surprisingly, in this type of match, you would expect to have these two go back and forth, and both of them will have about the same amount of offense. But Mark Henry pretty much dominated this match for the most part. Big Show got in some offense, but it was pretty much Mark Henry. Basically, basically summarize this match and tell you what happened real short is pretty much Mark Henry pretty much worked over Big Show's leg in this match, and then he hit the world's strongest slam to Big Show, then hit a splash, and Mark Henry wins the match. And then post-match, Mark Henry goes out of the ring. He hits a steel chair, puts it around Big Show's ankle, then he hits his version of the Vader bomb to Big Show. So Big Show's probably going to be off of TV with this kayfabe injury right here. So unfortunately, they're going to be continuing this Mark Henry and Big Show feud though. But probably with the whole thing at the end of the match, Big Show probably be selling his ankle injury for a little while, especially since he's still selling the thing from Alberto Del Rio with the knee, which I guess the only thing you could give this match props for is the in-ring psychology. Big Show did sell. Mark Henry did what he's supposed to do, work over the leg and stuff like that. But it wasn't a match I was into. 1.5 stars at best, and that might be a little generous. The next matchup was the Raw Money in the Bank. This had Alberto Del Rio, Kofi Kingston, Jack Swagger, Evan Bourne, R-Truth, Alex Riley, The Miz, and Rey Mysterio. And really, out of those people, Alex Riley is the only bad person in this match. I'm not much of a fan of Alex Riley. I do not like this push he's getting, and hopefully they end it very soon. Hopefully they don't push him too far. I don't think they will. I think they'll just have him kind of float around the mid-card, then probably be forgotten probably by the time next year. You saw some great stuff with Evan Bourne in this match. He was really the show stealer in this match right here. Did a lot of great stuff. You saw there was a pile of wrestlers outside the ring. He got on top of the ladder, hitting shooting star. Saw some great stuff like you would expect from Rey Mysterio. Kofi Kingston was good in this match. R-Truth, pretty much everyone was good in here. And then during one part of the match, Miz pretty much landed. Looked like he injured himself. And then the referees took him to the back. So you're like, maybe that was a legit injury. Then obviously he came back out. So obviously it was a work injury. He came back out there. He tried to sneak up there, win the Money in the Bank. And Alberto Del Rio wins this Money in the Bank. The ending I thought was a little weak. I thought the ending could have been a little better. What they did was Rey Mysterio was up there on top, fighting over the briefcase, trying to get it. They were both fighting over it. Alberto Del Rio removes Rey Mysterio's mask. Rey Mysterio pretty much ducks, wants to cover his face. Then he falls off the ladder into a pile of ladders, and Alberto Del Rio falls as well. Then he gets back up, puts the ladder up, walks up there, climbs up there, and gets the Money in the Bank briefcase. So he wins the Raw Money in the Bank, which even the ending came off a little weak, and I thought the ending could have been better. It was still a very entertaining match, and obviously the better of the two Money in the Banks. I'll probably give it about 3.5, maybe even 3 3/4 stars. It was a very entertaining match. Evan Bourne and Rey Mysterio, obviously some of the best stuff in there, and Kofi Kingston as well. Kofi Kingston's great in those type of matches. The next matchup was Christian versus Randy Orton for the World Heavyweight Championship. This is one of those very rare examples where you can point to where a match ends in disqualification, that it actually doesn't hurt the match and it actually furthers the feud with these two. And I did not have too much of a problem in it, having it end in disqualification. Probably off the top of my head, the only other time I can think of a match ending in disqualification and it actually didn't ruin the match was probably Kurt Angle and Austin from, I think, SummerSlam 2001. It's probably the only other time I can think of a match ending in disqualification that didn't ruin the match. And like this match, that match prolonged the feud with those two, so it made sense, especially the way, the rules of this match. If Orton lost this match via disqualification, Christian becomes champion, so it's kind of a cheap way for Christian to become champion without Orton having to really take the pinfall in here. And the way Orton gets disqualified towards the end, you see Christian, he spits in Randy Orton's face. This pisses off Randy Orton. Then he unloads on Christian, starts punching him. The referee tries to stop him, keeps on hitting him. Then then he low blows the ref. So then he gets disqualified, so Christian becomes the champion. Then outside the ring, Christian's holding up the title, celebrating his cheap win he got right there, becoming World Heavyweight Champion that way. Then Orton pretty much snapped, beat the hell out of him, and then went out the ring, threw him over to the announce table, hit the RKO on there, and Randy Orton post-match was great right here. I'm not the hugest Orton fan either, and he was great right here. And these two had a pretty good match as well, even with the DQ finish. Now, would it have been better and probably even a better match if it would have not ended in disqualification? Yes, but I think this made sense right here. It was a way for Christian to win the title with Orton without Orton have to take the fall in here, and it doesn't really hurt either one of them. It actually helps Christian with his heel persona a little, and Orton really snapped at the end of the match. Was great, and I would give this match probably 3 and 1/4 stars. It was a good match even with the DQ finish. Then the main event was obviously the thing most people were looking forward to this show for. Probably some people, probably the only thing they were looking forward to this show. But you saw other good stuff on here, but this was the main selling point of this pay-per-view, which was CM Punk versus John Cena for the WWE Championship. Like I said, the build-up to this match was great. They only had really 3 weeks to build this up, and I would say the build-up to this match right here that only had 3 weeks was probably better than a lot of recent WrestleMania build-ups to title matches at WrestleMania. This match felt like a WrestleMania type of match going into it, and the atmosphere of the crowd, the way the crowd was here in Chicago. Obviously, all of them were behind CM Punk, completely against John Cena. It was just great. It was pretty much like the closest thing we've seen to back when John Cena took on RVD at the Hammerstein Ballroom at the One Night Stand in 2006. It was the same type of atmosphere, but even obviously a huger crowd, obviously. But just great stuff here. The crowd really did a good job here. The crowd was really into this. The match was really good. You're pretty much on the edge of your seat the whole time. Great back and forth action, and I think WWE did a good job here. They pretty much teased the fans that a lot of people, like myself, were kind of worried. Please, WWE, do not do a Montreal-type screw job, since, CM Punk is in his hometown. He's in a title match, and the whole thing is, CM Punk, is going to be leaving WWE pretty soon, or obviously, like most of us know, CM Punk's going to be taking a break, then probably coming back in a little bit. So that was the storyline with this, and a lot of us were worried that they were going to go with the Montreal Screwjob route, and thankfully they didn't do it, but I think it was a smart thing to at least tease it. They had Vince McMahon and I think John Laurinaitis come out there, try to ring the bell when John Cena had the SDFU on CM Punk. Cena didn't want to have anything to do with this. He knocked down John Laurinaitis, went to Vince McMahon, say he does not want to end it this way, then pretty much gets back into the ring, and then it's pretty much the end of the match. Punk hits the go to sleep, becomes the champion. Vince McMahon's furious. He goes to the announce table, puts on the announcer's mic, says he's calling out Alberto Del Rio to cash in his Money in the Bank. Alberto Del Rio comes out there, and you're like, okay, Alberto Del Rio is going to win the title here. And they did a good job of teasing it. Alberto Del Rio came out there. He was about to hand the Money in the Bank to the ref to cash it in. CM Punk stopped him from doing that, and then CM Punk walked into the crowd, and then the pay-per-view ended with him in the crowd. So a great moment right there, and cannot wait to see how this is going to lead to tomorrow on Monday Night Raw. Is WWE just going to have CM Punk, drop the title tomorrow night on Monday Night Raw? Or is he going to be there for a little longer than what we expect? Are they going to give him maybe a 2-3 month title reign? And then after that, CM Punk will take, a little break and then come back. Because that's obviously what CM Punk's doing. He's He's going to obviously at some point take a break from WWE. Probably, I would say about 6-8 months, maybe even a year, because he is tired of WWE's road schedule and he wants to kind of have a little break for himself. So kind of like Chris Jericho, he's going to take some time off. Then we'll see him back. So can't wait to see where this is going to lead to. And the match with John Cena and CM Punk was great. And glad they, had CM Punk win the match, because if John Cena would have won the match, would the internet be buzzing? Would people be still, whoa, I can't wait to see what's going to happen on Raw tomorrow night, if Cena would have won this, which obviously they had to have CM Punk win the match, because if Cena would have won this match, fans would have been like, oh, nothing big happened. You had a great storyline going, then WWE ruined it. Thankfully, they didn't do it, and hopefully they keep following through with it, and can't wait to see where they go with it. I'm expecting it to probably end at SummerSlam, probably with John Cena probably getting the title back, but wouldn't mind seeing John Cena and CM Punk yet again, because they had a very good match right here. I'd say about 3 3/4 stars, maybe 4-star match overall. The show, some of the matches could have been a little better. You did have 2 really bad matches, Mark Henry and Big Show, and the Divas match on here. But the 2 Money in the Bank matches, especially the Raw one, delivered. The Smackdown one was pretty good. For the world title match, ending in disqualification was good. And the main event was really the selling point in this pay-per-view. So overall, I'll probably give this pay-per-view maybe a 7.5, maybe a 7.75, because they did a great job with the main event. Really, really wondering where it's going to go next, and that was what they should have done. And you really saw some other good things on here as well. So it wasn't an excellent pay-per-view, but I would say it was a good pay-per-view from WWE, which, Ring of Honor's recent pay-per-view, TNA's recent pay-per-view, and WWE's pay-per-view, all 3 of them, for a change, you actually can say all 3 of them were pretty enjoyable. So can't remember the last time, all 3 companies had good pay-per-views in pretty much the same exact month or around the same time. All 3 of them were enjoyable. So this was a very enjoyable show from WWE. And yeah, that's it for my WWE Money in the Bank 2011 pay-per-view review. All right, peace.